Hi, guys. Welcome back to Born in Faith Childbirth Education, Discipling Families. I'm your host, Doula Childbirth Educator, Maria Jose. If you checked out our last two episodes, we talk about the introduction. I share my story and what is a faith filled birth. Today we're going to talk about what is actual faith. So let's get into it. We start with Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. The assurance and conviction of faith is not blind belief or gullibility or wishful thinking. Study of the various characters mentioned in this chapter shows that they all had good reasons to trust God. When we're preparing for birth and childbirth and we're working on our faith, one great tip is to write down all the testimonies, all the prayers answered, and that helps you trust in God more and find your reason to trust Him because you know He's going to come through for you. So, how does faith work? Faith in God is to trust Him based on a true understanding of who He is as revealed in the Bible. Faith in God has several components. The first is believing that He actually exists. However, simply believing is not enough. James 2:19 explains that even demons believe in God's existence. So we have to be very mindful that we're not just believing, but that we're trusting because we understand who God is, right? That's why reading the word is so important. So faith is simply trusting God. Faith works when you trust in God. To trust in God is to have a sincere relationship with Him. And not only are we going to trust Him that He's going to transform your birth, that we're also going to trust in Him that no matter what happens, He's there. So, what hinders our faith? Fear, unforgiveness, pride, frustration. When we're in any of those four categories, we are no longer operating in faith. We are no longer trusting in God. Now, it's not wrong to feel these things. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when we're operating in them, right? When we're fearful, any fears, right? And we don't bring them to the Lord and accept, to trust Him, we're not working on our faith. When you fight with your spouse and you're not forgiving them, or a family member breaks a boundary and you're not forgiving them, like that's unforgiveness. And you need to forgive so that you can trust the Lord with your pain. There's pride, which is very important because in the Bible it literally says God opposes the prideful. So we always need to be humble. And then frustration. When we're getting frustrated, we are not having patience, and that is one of the fruits of the Spirit. So it's so important that we're not operating from frustration. So we're going to dive deep a little bit of how we use our faith during childbearing. And how this all applies a little bit. And then we're going to end it here, and I'll see you guys at the next episode. But how we use our faith during this is making decisions based off of knowledge, truth, and faith. If you start to make decisions out of fear, worry, you are no longer using your faith. Sometimes doctors, right? This is very important. Sometimes doctors, midwives will say something about your baby, pregnancy, even during labor. That doesn't make it truth. We must always go back to our Bibles, what the word says about our situation. The word is God. Take it to Him. Be brutally honest with Him. This is important, guys, because we have to constantly renew our minds when we're in labor, throughout our pregnancy, because the spiritual warfare is very real. And we know how Jesus defeated the devil in the Bible. He used scripture, and the enemy knows scripture, right? But he twists it. So the more you read your word and the more you know Him, the less doubt will creep in, and the more empowered you will feel to trust God, because that's the key point, is to trust God and to have faith in Him, not in like our circumstances, but in Him. So that is what our faith is, guys. I will see you guys on the next episode, or the next lesson. I mean, it's about our belief system. Trust me, this is just going to get better and better, and you're going to love it. I'll see you guys in the next lesson.